To celebrate the arrival of the year of the ox, I'm going to be showing you how to make these really yummy oxtail pot stickers. We start obviously with an oxtail. Just one that's about 2 to 2.5 pounds is plenty big for this project. Here I'm rubbing it with some salt, pepper, and a little bit of Chinese five spice. Make sure to put on some gloves so that when you get your hands in there, you're not going to get them all messy and sticky with all those like meat juices. Once you've adequately rubbed down your oxtail, you're going to get a pot really nice and hot and put a little bit of oil there. Then we're just going to stick the oxtail in and we're just going to sear it on all sides as much as possible. It's a little bit difficult because it tends to curl in on itself because of the tendon on the bottom, but just kind of do your best and make sure to get all the sides nice and brown. Once you get a good sear on all sides, remove it from the pot and just set it aside for a bit. In the same pot where it was, add some onions and then a little bit later on add some garlic. Just kind of cook that until the onions become translucent. Add the garlic a little bit later on because it won't take as long to cook. Then we're going to deglaze the pot with a little bit of sake. About 2 cups is plenty. And then you're going to let that reduce down for a bit until it's pretty much syrupy like you see here. Stick the oxtail back in and then you're going to want to cover it with a good amount of beef stock. About 6 quarts ought to do. Once the oxtail is covered with beef stock, you're going to want to add some sesame oil, rice wine vinegar, ketchup, yakisoba sauce, and soy sauce into the pot as well. And just give that a good stir so it all incorporates. That's going to be cooking for about 2 to 3 hours until the meat's nice and tender. Once it's close to being done, you can kind of get the rest of the ingredients ready for the filling of the pot stickers. Just cut some scallions, and then you're also going to want a little bit of ginger in there as well. Just try to get it nice and minced. Once the meat is quite literally falling off the bone, pull it out of the stock and allow it to cool for a little bit. You're going to be pulling this meat off of the bone with your hands, so you're going to want to cool it down so that you don't burn yourself. While the meat cools off, it's a good time to go ahead and strain the stock. We're going to be reducing this even further in order to create the sauce that you're eventually going to use for dipping the pot stickers in. Once the meat's cool enough, just put on some gloves and go ahead and start peeling off that meat. While you're doing so, make sure to feel for like that cartilage and those little bits like that. The stuff is going to be really chewy and it's not really edible, and it's just going to make for a bad experience if you end up getting a big bite of that in your dumpling. Once you've picked all the meat from the bones and also made sure to remove any additional excess cartilage from the mixture itself, we're going to add some of those scallions that we cut as well as that ginger. And we're also going to add some ground Szechuan peppercorns, just to add a little bit of heat. Again, with gloved hands, just kind of get in there and mix it really nice and well before you start filling the pot stickers. Next, we're going to get some round wonton wrappers and just lay them out like this. You can make these at home, but honestly, I have no real way to make these any better than the stuff that you can just get pre-made from just like a local Asian supermarket, so why even bother? Once they're all laid out, I like to put the meat filling into the center. I don't really measure this, I just kind of eyeball it to something that doesn't seem like it's going to explode out of the sides. As you can see, I'm doing a little bit of adjusting here before I finally start actually wrapping them. With your fingertip, you're just going to wet it a little bit and just get the sides of the wonton wrapper a little bit damp before you start folding it in. Make sure there's no filling too close to the edges, or that's going to break the seal and just burst open when you start to boil these. Once it's folded in half like a taco, you're just going to crimp the sides to make an airtight seal. And then start folding it like so in order to give it a nice little pattern. And it also kind of helps it stay shut once you actually put these to boil. Once your pot stickers are assembled, you're going to want to drop them into a small pot of boiling water. You're really just trying to cook these as you would like a ravioli or a tortellini. Since the inside is already cooked, you're really just trying to cook that outside of the wonton wrapper. Next, you're going to pat them dry and then add them into a pan with the smallest amount of oil possible to still coat the bottom. That's how you're going to get that nice crispy bottom of the pot stickers, which kind of gives them their name in the first place. Once the pot stickers are crispy on the bottom and nice and golden brown, they're pretty much ready. Gently remove them from the pan, and while this has all been cooking, that stock that you've been reducing now makes for an excellent dipping sauce for these pot stickers. Garnish it with a little bit of sliced scallions and maybe a little bit of sesame seeds if you want, and enjoy! Full recipe for this dish can be found on my website, which the link will be in the description. And if you like this recipe and if you want to see others like it, make sure to subscribe to this channel.